Well, it says live.
Does it? Oh, okay. All right.
It says it. Yeah.
It does say we're live. Okay. Awesome. Let's just double check.
I was
Hopefully
going to
we
say, do we
are.
double check by going to your profile or your page?
Yes. Let's.
Well, while Bronwyn's doing that, hi.
We will assume. It looks like it's working. All right. All kinds of things happening today. So when you come on, let me know that you are here, so I know that this is working, because I just need to be sure. I can't see any viewers yet. So, there's one. Okay, great. So come on. Let me know that you are here. Cool, that it's working now. I can see, because we did have some technical issues at the start. So I have with me Miriam. So yay, Miriam! And the thing that's super cool that I just found out, and I wish I had known prior to, like 1 minute before going live, it is Miriam's birthday today. So we are going to celebrate her birthday. She's going to celebrate her birthday too. She's going to talk about that later. Oh wow, what's it?
This is my birthday bear that I got this morning. It's
humongous.
I don't even eat chocolate anymore.
Oh, it is a chocolate. Oh, right. Awesome. So lovely. So we're going to do some readings. We're going to do some healings, and we're going to get to know Miriam. So I've known Miriam for 15 months, maybe smidgen longer is how long I've known her. She came into my world really unexpectedly. I was in America for a month, August last, and I was part of a bigger group, and we were delivering some training, and Miriam was part of that, and then she connected with me afterwards, and ever since then I've been blessed to have her in my world. She's awesome.
Thank you.
You are. And she is exceptionally special at what she does. And I'll elaborate more on what makes her so special. She's a psychic medium. She's also a psychotherapist and an amazing healer. And where she works and how she works in an energetic space is unique, rare, and profound. So she's very, very, as I said, very, very special human, and that's why I love working with you. It's amazing, and what it demonstrates to me when I work with Miriam is that our gifts can show up all kinds of ways. Quite often when we're on this journey and we're learning, and we're whether we're learning psychic or mediumship or healing or any other modality that fits in the metaphysical space, quite often we think that we've got to go in the lane, fit in a box, be like everyone else. But you shouldn't. You actually should be yourself. Your gifts should show up in a way that is unique to you. That way that we can serve and help people for their unique way that they need it. So if we're all the same, we're not going to be able to help the diversity of people that we need to help. So it's really, I think it's really important to stay true to how you work, or how your gifts work, or how you show up in the energetic space. And don't think that you have to be the same as what you've seen on TV or YouTube, or even what you've experienced in a professional sense. If you operate differently, then that is awesome, and that is Miriam. So the other thing that's really special about Miriam is she's in Norway, and this is morning for her, and really early. So she's joining us from all the way in Norway. And if you have just jumped on here and you're saying hello, so that is fabulous. Also, make sure, those that weren't here right at the start, it's Miriam's birthday today. Yay! So we're going to celebrate.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, everyone.
the whole way through. So hi, Tony. Hi, Janelle. Hi, Tanya. So just jump on and say hi. Hi, Beverly. Pauline, Vanette. Hi. Gabrielle. So
somebody's here for the first time. Cool. Norella?
Awesome.
Somebody's here for the first time.
All right. Excellent. Well, welcome to the crazy. Based on how it started, anything could happen. So people can get to know you, Miriam. I'd love for you to share a little bit about you and how, whatever you want to share, but also about how you work and what makes you so special. I'd love for you to express it.
Thank you. What I like to say is I'm about as crazy as my hair. It's pretty wild.
See the two of us together, anything could happen.
Exactly. I never know what it's going to do. I'm going to just quickly, I didn't understand that everybody's different when I was a kid, but I did understand there was something about me when I was 4. And my mother brought home a game called Mastermind, if you've heard of it. It's like there's colors you put behind a screen and then the other person has to guess the colors.
Okay.
Sort of, yeah. And so she brought it into the room. It wasn't a usual thing for her to do. And so my brother and I were playing. And he had the screen. So he put down 4 colors behind the screen so that I couldn't see. And I put down 4 colors because the idea is to match, right? You're supposed to guess. And they were all right. They were all the same. So my mother's kind of went, do that again. So he put down 4 colors. I put down 4 colors. One of them was wrong. So I just changed it to the right one. And my mother took the game away. That was, just freaked her out. So that's when I understood there was something about me, but I didn't really know what to do with it. So I kind of hid everything because my first impression was like, this is not a good thing. Whatever it is, it's not a good thing. Another thing, it's like things came up sort of surprisingly, and that's how I understood who I was or how I was slightly different, because I just knew stuff that other people didn't know, and it was very frustrating. Like, why are you people acting like that? Don't you see what's going on? And they really didn't. But one of the major things was the healing, and that's actually something while I remember. We're going to talk about healing a little bit, but for those of you who want cards or who want readings, I have this thing where healing energy is activated in me. And so if you don't want any of that, like if it's directed at you and you don't want it, don't ask for a reading. I suggest that you not do that, because there's no really way to say, don't give me that while we're live on this particular call. So, because it might just happen. But what had happened was I was in a place where a person was in a very bad place, and I just felt the very clear impulse to put my hand on this person in this particular place. So I went over and I did that, and all kinds of things started happening. And then all of a sudden I felt this release, and I said it to the person, and the person said, yeah, I felt it too. And the person didn't have the problem anymore. So then I understood that I could do a thing that I didn't know I could do. And that's kind of the way things have developed. And as you mentioned, then I saw you and I went, ooh, a school. Then I can learn how to structure things and do stuff. And that's exactly, and you have got the science and the ethics. The ethics is so important. So thank you very much for your positive comments, everybody, and your birthday wishes. Thanks, Melissa. So that really, really attracted me. Plus your great personality, because you're really cool. I think you're really cool. So that's a little bit about how I work. Like things, I'm very sort of free form storytelling. I'm a psychotherapist, so it will often be in like a psychotherapy kind of space. Like I'll go into what's your worst challenge, your core issue, that kind of thing. And even with people who are on the other side, they've passed and they come forward and they start telling me about the kind of person they were when they were alive and what they've learned now that they've passed over. That sort of thing can show up in readings with me.
Your readings are really profound. Like you can have a reading, I get to see lots of people's readings as a teacher, and so I see lots of samples, and it's something that I spend a fair bit of time just looking at different styles and what it looks like. And your readings are very profound. Some readings are very surface level. Am I, getting a new car? So it's very, very this reality space, everyday type of thing. Those readings serve 100%, right? Because sometimes it's really important. Am I getting a new car? Because maybe our car is broken, right? So it can be really important. But your readings they have a great depth to them, both within this reality, but also in the energetic space. Watching you work, one, yes, sometimes there is physical movement that you're not going to see in other reading scenarios, because as you bring energy down, you move your arms around and you do all kinds of things. So that does happen. But the other thing that happens in conjunction with that, or as that is occurring, is there's healing on an energetic space, which then can manifest it physically or emotionally, like move blocks. But it's in this space, so this reality, but it also is in the ether, so it's in other spaces. And it is unusual and awesome. So it's both, right? Unusual and awesome to see the facilitation of healing of a spirit being that normally would get healing a different way. So when we cross, there's a whole healing process that we go through, and that occurs as part of that transition. And watching you being able to access that space that is normally only available when we're actually in that space, right? There's not normally a way that you get to that special little spot, but you can, and that's phenomenal. Really,
Thank
really
you.
is. It's very, very special. And so the type of service that you provide is one that, to me, when I watch you work, is for those that really want something that is really going to shift them. It's really going to move them, or there is this bridge between the two worlds and there's something that needs to be sorted out on a whole different level. It's, they're very, very special, what you offer. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just like, that's my response when I like,
can I take you with me all the time? You're wonderful. But do you mind if I add something to that?
Sure, go for it.
Because like for anybody who's sort of wondering, oh, should I take a course? Should I come out of the closet? Like I came out of the closet pretty late because I was afraid that it would like ruin my reputation, destroy my career, or I wouldn't be able to, like, I've never done this, what you and I are doing now, and we're going to pull a card maybe and read somebody without them sitting in front of me or whatever. I've never done this before. It's like, if there are so many people that need us, right? And I stayed hidden because I was afraid. And then once I decided, like, stop being afraid, go do your thing. You have a thing, or go find out at least about the thing. It's like, what was I waiting for? It was there all the time. And the things that I didn't even know I could do and how I could support people. Like it's even, I even dare to say, it's amazing. It's amazing. And imagine if I had never come out of the closet.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about? And I have to believe there's a reason for it. Otherwise it wouldn't be. So if anybody's hesitating, at least contact the school and have a talk.
Oh, thanks.
Or even me. Because I mean, if you're scared, I mean, I'll support you in that, because it's magic. And you grow also, like me personally, having come out, it's coming out of the closet. I have grown so much. And my level of confidence is just like, wow, I would never have dared to do anything like this before. So seriously, and if you're going to do it, Bronwyn School is the place. She is really, really great. Really great. And the information is amazing. The support is amazing. So do the mentoring if you're going to do mentoring. If you're considering mentoring, there's a really good reason to do it. I love it. So yeah, I can't say enough positive about it. It's really, and the community as well.
Community is awesome.
Really fantastic. So I'm so grateful.
It's in that space, and I'm going to draw a couple of cards in a sec because I can see some people here, and we will do that. And we're going to mix our conversation in there. But I want to just, before I do that, really add something to that I think is important for everyone that is listening to appreciate for themselves. I used to be in corporate world and had a whole life, and it was, it was good. There's nothing wrong with it. Had businesses that were great, nothing wrong with it, all awesome. But there was always something missing within me. I never understood why I didn't feel fully me. No matter where I was, no matter what I was doing, I was always uncomfortable. And it was because there was an aspect of me that I hadn't accepted. and very much like Miriam, a late bloomer in this space. And once I, went on my journey, and my journey was long and messy and all the things, but once I got to that in their space and started to appreciate that the things that I felt and sensed and experienced was not weird, not unusual, not against God, not all the things that I had been told, that then I could really accept me. And it was an ongoing thing. So it's not like, one day you wake up and it's like, woo, right? It's not like that. But it is an ongoing piece by piece process. And every little aspect of me that I allowed to, for me to appreciate for myself, but also be comfortable to expose it where others could feel it, see it, sense it, I became exceptionally comfortable and life got really easy. I still have dramas. Like, it's not like they all magically disappear, but they don't impact me like they did. I can maneuver through life with a level of grace and peace that I never had, that I used to yearn for. And so the whole reason why I do what I do is, yes, to allow people to live their purpose and to learn. But the main part is that part that you said. So we come for technical skills, but the most magical thing is the thing that occurs with inside each student, and they really actualize themselves, find themselves, unlock themselves, and become comfortable within. That's the bonus of any spiritual journey. If you really lean into it, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter where you go, but if you really lean into it, that's what happens. And it's just so phenomenal. So anyone that's kind of like, oh, I'm starting the journey, there's going to be some bits that are like, oh, this isn't fun, right? Because there is some bits that aren't fun, but that's where the growth sits, right? So there is this growth patch, and it's not always awesome. But once you move it through it, and as you go through the journey, the prize at the end of feeling whole, it's next level. It really is. And you still can go about your life, and you don't have to be like woo-woo and, all the things, right? I'm normal-ish, right? So you don't have to be like some other thing, right? You can just embrace yourself. And so lean into it, guys, if you're on that path, and don't give up even on those patches where it is a bit rough, because we all get those rough patches. Hi. So we've got Jamie here. So, and Tony, I think I said hi to you. So just in case you're late and you didn't realise, it's Miriam's birthday, and it's Miriam's birthday.
I completely forgot.
She forgot. I haven't.
Plus, the other thing, thanks very much. The other thing, if you're late, we were talking about, I have this sort of tendency sometimes to just sort of have this healing energy show up. And so if you don't want any of that, it doesn't mean I actually don't know what it's going to mean for you, because it depends how much you receive and all of that kind of stuff, without going into tons and tons and tons of detail. But if it shows up, and if it shows up in connection with you and you don't want it. So the idea is, please don't ask for a card, or please don't ask for a reading if you're not also open to the healing energy, because that might also show up. So just like, it's not dangerous. It's just, if you don't want, you as a choice, just like you would have the choice for a reading or not. If you don't want one, you don't want one. So that's all. I just thought it was important for you to know that might happen.
It's like a job lot. It's a lucky dip today. You just never know, right? So and
thank you very much for the birthday wishes, everybody. Thank you.
Awesome. So in the chat, you will see references how you can connect with Miriam, particularly if you're looking for readings and healings, and all the other services that she offers. And I want to ask her about one in particular in a sec. So definitely connect into her website. And what I would really, really, really love, like if you want to give Miriam a birthday present, right? So if you want to give her a birthday present, jump on her Facebook page and like it. I've just put it in the chat. So hopefully it's worked. If not, Chanel will do that for me. So that would be awesome, because what happens if you support someone's page, and Miriam's trying to, grow her people's awareness about her. If you click on it and like it, Facebook gets excited, and they then take the page and then they put it in front of people that also might like it. And so that's why I say it's like a birthday gift to Miriam. So if you can support her, then Facebook then shoves it wherever they think it needs to go, and she can be of service to others.
Thank
so
you.
If you could do that, that would be awesome, awesome, awesome. So, yeah, all right. Now, so to clarify, if you ask for a card, it's a lucky dip today. You may also, no guarantees, get some kind of healing potentially in it too. We don't know. So if you've put, I would like a card, the assumption is you're open to the other. So that's what we're assuming today. Otherwise, probably wouldn't put your name down today if you're not open to it. And the healing is an energetic healing, and it'll show up however it's meant to show up within your world.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to draw a card. Because we've had a bit of a chat here, so I want to get through a few, and they're going to be kind of short-ish. That's my goal. Oh, God. We know that doesn't always work out. All right, so I just drawn to Maxine. So Maxine Marks. So what I'm getting for you straight away, anything that you're like, oh, should I move forward? What should I do? Like a decision space. I'm getting told that there's things are not as they appear, and there's an energy of not walking towards it, walking away from it. So this tells me if you are making a decision that it's not something that we would step forward with a great lot of gusto. There's also what would look like maybe some difficulties or challenges around it that you may not necessarily be fully aware of at this point in time, but they will. I'm aware that they will be in your awareness very soon, because I'm just seeing that they're really close. Thanks. So, and as we go through this process, if anything resonates, let us know. But we just so we know how we're traveling. It's nice to get feedback when we're doing an energy exchange like this. And Miriam, you can just do it how you want.
I was just going to jump in for a second, if it's okay. I don't remember if we mentioned, and for anybody who's late, I will tend to move, and it's basically information, and sometimes I can move a lot. So you'll see me already moving in connection with Maxine, and just noticing what's coming up as you guys are connecting is, it seems to be something about the challenge of making a decision, being on the fence. Seems a bit, what's happening is I'm starting to shake, and that tends to be something to do with a feeling of overwhelm. There can also maybe be some trauma in there this seems to be like quite a while ago, but it shows up now in connection with this sort of, you have an important decision to make, and it's difficult. And so it's kind of clouding your thinking. So it's to reassure, like to know that you're fine. You're fine. Whatever happened before is not happening right now. So to sort of open the space for yourself to be able to more easily integrate your information and make decisions that support you in your life. And I hope that makes sense.
Thanks. And as I said, if things resonate, let us know. It's, as I said, nice energy exchange. I'm drawn to Kylie C. So I just want to see. Like, what is it with decisions? I've got another one that's like, it's a decision thing, even though it's a different card. So Kylie, this is for you. If you are hesitating, you are not knowing what to do, what I'm being made aware of is that there's no wrong decision. So there's this hesitation, this I don't know, I don't want to make the wrong choice, this type of thing. And I'm being made aware of, no, just you're going to get to where you need to. So don't hesitate in that space. Thanks. Thank you. They're also making me aware too that, thanks, that I just heard the word trust. So I know that this is a you thing too. So it's like trust yourself and build on your own ability, instincts, trust your gut space. Thank you. Thanks. And they actually even showed me writing. So whether you go the way that your process, it might involve writing, because I'm almost like when someone's writing, just like, is it a pro-con list? No, it doesn't feel like that, but it possibly could be. Is this, because I can see I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to work it out, and I'm using a writing tool to be able to do this. Yet, and I also heard spirit, so that makes me aware of this big connection in that space. Thank you. And I'm also aware that is, when I say spirit, I'm actually talking about loved ones in spirit, not necessarily a spirit guide, but it could be. But I am actually hearing this loved one in spirit too that is communicating, and to me it feels like a female and an older female that would feel be connected with you in that by blood space. Thanks. Thank you. And yeah, and this, it's either this is like a mum or a grandma. It's like that. Because I'm hearing all the wishes of love to you, so I know it's a heartfelt connection that's there, that comes through, and I'm also aware of being able to see them too. So you obviously must be able to see them, or you have seen them since they've been in spirit. Miriam, do you want to add anything there?
Thank you. It looks like I'm going to be tailgating you today. What I noticed right away is a connection. They're making me feel heart in connection with you, Kylie, and I feel some grief. So, and it's, this is one of those things where I'm noticing some resistance, sort of pushing back to it. Grief is one of those things we don't always necessarily want to feel, but we don't necessarily also realize that if we do allow it to come forward, or we don't lose ourselves in it. It just flows on its own when we just allow it. It doesn't mean we get lost in it. It doesn't take us over. But when it's moving, it's like taking an inner shower. So it kind of clears you all out. It opens you up to more possibility. You do absolutely have abilities. Just a moment. Actually, and yes, and that your ability to feel and be more in touch with your own grief will actually support you in your mediumship connection with spirit that's passed, and with people who are sitting for readings with you. You'll have a deeper connection to where they are, what they feel, how they're experiencing their own grief, and you can support them in actually moving their own grief, but also in connection with the people who have passed, who, I mean, generally speaking, people who have passed, they feel a lot better. I mean, they don't have their bodies, they don't have the pains and all of those things, but they can also communicate in the readings the grief that they have felt because they didn't get to do something, or they didn't get to say something, or they wish they had known something. And by being in touch with your own grief and sort of moving your own grief, you will have that understanding of your own situation that will help you relate to them and communicate their messages to you. Hope that makes sense. There's a very bright light I'm seeing with you, so it looks like really, really cool things are coming. So yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward to that.
And it's a really important topic that you brought up too, working, grief, the journey of grief. And from my own experience in that space, it is fluid. So when we try and hold it in, get it under control, it's like, I don't want to, I don't want to let it out, right? And so sometimes we do this because we might want to show our emotions in front of someone, or we might think it's not the appropriate time. But if we allow it to flow like a river, so if you want to, cry or be angry, sometimes you're angry, right? So that's okay. No emotions are wrong. So whatever you're feeling, allow it to come out when it wants to come out. And then it will move through you. And then it gets metabolized, doesn't get stored in your body. It's great for you long term because of that. But if you hold that emotion in, or it does get pressed into your cells and it causes a problem. That's a whole other conversation. But but in this space, it's allow it to be like a river. Allow the emotions of grief to flow through you, and honor it as it does, and it will move through you. And it's a far, I'm going to say, more organic experience and real experience to what it should be than trying to suppress it. So, yeah. So we're doing the card readings, and for those that have recently arrived, and we've got Q, we've got Chris, we've got a couple of Chris's on here, so Chris squared. We've so we've got Tess on here as well, Raylene. If you're asking for a card, Miriam also does healings there. So it's a lucky dip today. She's not sure like when it's going to happen and who it's going to happen and what it's going to look like. So the assumption is if you ask for a card, potentially there could be some kind of healing that occurs in that space. So we're just assuming if you say yes to a card, you're saying yes to anything else that could happen.
I'm going to jump in for here for a second because Tony, like way at the beginning, I noticed Tony was making some comments, but I didn't see Tony. I didn't see whether you wanted a card or a reading or not. And if you're still here and you do, could you just let me know in the chat because something did come up a while ago. So just let me know if you want it, if you're still here. And otherwise, we'll just move on.
Yeah. All right.
That's totally Collins.
Great.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you while I'm kind of putting some energy in these cards, I saw on your website, because I went on there and stalked you before I got on here. What I did.
Oh, no. Bronwyn in the house.
I saw that you offer, and I've never seen this before, so I would like it explained to me because it looked kind of cool. Silent counseling. That looked interesting. And when I was reading what it was for, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I need to understand that in case someone comes into my world that needs that. So what is it?
It is actually amazing. And it's one of those things where people just come into my life or things just come into my life. I'm always improving. I'm a psychotherapist through and through. And it's not, I don't do a lot of like talk therapy, although I will do talk therapy if that's your jive, but it's all kinds of other stuff. And so silent counseling came into my world, and it is basically, you don't have to remember what happened to you. You don't have to want to talk about what happened to you. That's actually a benefit because your memories can be a bit skewed, and talking about it, words can really get in the way, and sometimes they just don't explain. So silent counseling is pretty silent, excuse me, where I will lead you through steps. We're getting in touch with the body and what the body says. So not what your mind is telling you, but what's going on in your body, and just disconnecting you. Or there will be an attachment to some experience that is sitting in your system. And it's kind of like disconnecting or unattaching you, if that's even a word, from that experience so that it doesn't affect you. Like you should be able to have memories of things without an emotional charge connected to them, without pain connected to them. So a memory becomes a memory. It becomes information and not something that is almost like controlling you or limiting you, or where you keep repeating, those ruminating thoughts you go over and over again and you try and find a different ending that would have worked. But the thing is over, you can't change it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can reframe it. So it's almost like silent counseling allows you to not have to talk about it, not have to remember it, but you'll have something. You just know there's something. And I take you through a specific protocol and different aspects, if there's more than one aspect of the thing, and it should actually just alleviate itself. So it's like, I'm not even healing you, although I will, if something shows up, bring in my flavor, if that's what you want in addition, because sometimes energy can be sitting there and it's like, let's just clear that out of the way. Why not if it can help? But I encourage you to try it out, because like I was like blown away by this.
It looks awesome when I was reading it. That really looks fabulous. I need to understand that because I love the healing space on all the levels. And I say all the levels, on the physical level, the emotional level, and the spiritual level. I love all of it. And there's a place, I think, for, all these different modalities that are showing up. And that did sound really interesting, because whenever you have to relive something and explain it to someone and go through it, you're pulling it out of your memory, the emotions attached to it you're bringing them alive again in your body. It's getting embedded further. It's harder then to release every time you do that. So to have a process where you don't have to do that, just based on that information, is awesome. The fact that you're not embedding it into you.
You bring up a good point, because we often don't realize that as we tell these stories and relive these stories, it's almost like we're re-traumatizing ourselves. Like we're putting ourselves through this ordeal again and again. It's really our system trying to say, this needs to, pay attention to me. I need to be moved. Like the grief and the anger and all that. Be moved, because there's power under there that's actually good for you.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous. It's good for you. So, thanks for asking about that. It's a really cool
I thought it was really cool. So I'm going to do some more cards. I just want to say, I'll get the name right. Where was it? All right. Narelle. That's right. So Narelle, I pulled this for you. I'm going to do a couple of fast ones. And this is all about believing in yourself. So it's time to, they just said step up. So I know that this is really believe in yourself and trust yourself and trust your decisions that you are making. Thanks. Don't let other people kind of guide you. This is really about connecting to you connecting to you for you. Particularly as we move into, they showed me 12, which I know is December that they're referencing. So that space too. And I will tell you that the energy that you must have a lot of energy, or you're feeling kind of super busy or frantic or rushing, because I'm being made aware of this breathe, slow down, put things that aren't important to the side. We don't need to deal with everything today. So that is for you. Thanks. And I just want to grab another one because I just heard Sue. So this is, I think it was Sue T. So what I'm being made aware of is, so this is there is a really pretty cards. And the determination that you have within you is allowing you to overcome any obstacles that are coming up and that have come up. So I'm aware of you're going through something. It doesn't feel like you're at the start. Doesn't feel like you're at the end. It's like we're in it. So I know that this, thanks. They just said 5 weeks. So that's also important in this space, where those obstacles are coming to an end and they're moving. Thanks. And they could be around anything that I would associate with a relationship. So that type of space. Miriam, do you want to contribute anything?
Excuse me. What's actually happening is, as you're speaking about Narelle, I'm noticing some connections to Tony. I'd mentioned Tony a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it is going into the sort of the self-care and the self-confidence kind of space. And I actually drew a card for Tony, so I'm going to, hopefully you can see that.
Yeah, love.
It says love. The stone is rose quartz. I actually have a rose quartz in front of me. Self-love, romance, and matters of the heart. And my attention was going to self-love, and it starts as confidence. I'm noticing like quite low down in my belly, right just behind the pubic bone, if you know where that is, and then in the hips. So it's really this sort of getting in touch with the feminine side of you. There's something about the being softer is actually a strength. So softening, but also softening into yourself, making more space for yourself, bringing more of yourself into your world. And there's a confidence that's required in that. And just knowing that there's nothing wrong with you. There can't be anything wrong with you. It's not possible. You're created as you, and you're perfect. Otherwise, if there was supposed to be something different, you would have been created differently. It doesn't mean that all of your actions are perfect, but you are perfect. There's nothing wrong. So there's nothing to be afraid of as far as who you are and what you bring into the world. So the message is for Narelle and for Tony. It's about noticing yourself. The self-care is like noticing, paying attention to yourself more and noticing the beauty of who you are and having the confidence to bring that. And really, like it becomes a very, very strong, I'm being aware of heart, but without pain, it's love. And because you are the greatest lover of all time for yourself. So find your love in you, find your strength in you, and like you will rock your world and your world will rock you.
Awesome. Wow.
That's okay.
I'd like that message.
It's definitely still for everybody.
I might steal it.
It's definitely true for everybody. And I mean, take what you like, because
yeah. I think that, that is applicable. This is the thing, when you listen to other people's messages, and we might direct them to someone in particular, but if it resonates for you, that's the awesome thing about spirit, particularly when we're doing live things like this. We can't get to everyone. We want to, but we be here forever, which would be fine. But I've got kind of other things that I got an appointment later. So it's really is about connecting into what part resonates, what part makes sense for you, even if it is for someone else, because they do that. They kind of tag messages in there. I'm going to ask you another question, but before I do, I had a card here for Carly Mack. And what it was, Carly, was about embracing being in the middle. So if you feel like, and I don't know what the theme is here, they're all different cards, let me tell you. But there seems to be a theme. and it's about being in between. So embrace the fact that there's no forward, no back. It's just for you. It's about being in that space now. Thanks. And also later on, because I said that there will come a time where you will have to be more flexible than what you're comfortable with. But at the moment, you don't have to worry about that. It is simply just enjoying about being in the middle and not having to really make a decision either way at this stage, or even move either way. It is just about presence. So if you want to, if you've got anything you want to add, by all means, you can, Miriam.
I'm glad you said presence, because presence can be misunderstood. It can seem scary. And I'm just going to put this in sort of context for those of us who have experienced, what can I say? I guess I can call them boundary violations in regards to our bodies. Like or even it can be an energetic thing, but it can be so strong you can feel it physically. We don't necessarily always want to feel our bodies. We don't necessarily always want to be present, because it automatically triggers a lot of painful stuff. So one of the things I like to remind people is that's what was. And right now you have an opportunity to reframe that and re-experience the body in a way that you're comfortable with, and learn about setting boundaries, or if you need boundaries. A lot of the times when we allow ourselves to experience ourselves, not as somebody who has to protect themselves and set these really hard boundaries or whatever, or not feel our bodies, when we re-experience ourselves and we get more in touch with ourselves, we find a freedom in that, and being present to that is actually a wonderful invitation that awakens vitality, and I would say almost like the will to live. Because when we're being very protective of our space, we're not really living. Life doesn't necessarily feel very exciting. And so in that space of being present, it's like this invitation to just appreciate right now the very stillness, and allow yourself to not be overwhelmed. Because being present to right now, there's just one moment and not all of it at once. So I just wanted to bring that point and not be specific, because we're in a public forum, but not be specific. But just for those of you who have that sort of, or may experience having that sort of challenge, presence is actually much easier to deal with than all of your past and all of your future that you're trying to handle all at once, if that makes sense. So I hope that was helpful.
Awesome. Thank you. I wanted, just if you're late and you didn't hear, right, it's Miriam's birthday.
Oh.
Right? It's Miriam's birthday. And she's in Norway, and it's really early, and she's got chocolate. But because you were telling me before we came on here that the way that you celebrate your birthday, which I've already told you all, the way that you're going to give Miriam a gift is to go onto her Facebook page, and Chanel will put the link up for us so you can find it, and you're going to click on it. So Facebook's going to share it out to the universe. But you have a way that you celebrate your birthday, and I would like you to tell me about that.
Thank you. On my birthday, I like to give stuff. It's a reverse thing. It's like on Halloween, I go to people and give them candy. So instead of them coming to the door, on my birthday, I like to give stuff. And what I'm doing this year is my birthday is at the end of November, which is today, towards the end of November. We're moving towards the change of the year. And I just started thinking about resolutions. You know, we all make it, well, not all of us, but a lot of us make these New Year's resolutions. And I thought the thing about resolutions is we kind of set ourselves up to fail because we think we're going to be this person on the 31st of December. And then the 1st of January, we're going to be this different person because we've made this resolution, right? I'm going to stop smoking on the 1st of January. I'm going to do something, or I'm going to be this other person. And it's not really fair. You know, we've kind of had this theme about self-care and getting in touch with yourself and being present. And I was just like, that's not actually fair to do that to ourselves. So I wanted to start early. So today I'm going to be putting some information. Actually, it'll be on my profile, but I'll put it in my page as well, because I know that some of you are going to be going there because the link is here, where I'm offering an online course. And it's actually a self-study course. It's a week-long course, and it is called Goal, Design Your Future. And it, like me, goes really deep. There are a lot of questions in there. And I'm like really, really, really digging deep. Not only what do you want, but what do you absolutely not want? Like you would absolutely non-negotiable do not want to do. And getting really clear about that and how they can actually help each other. So it's actually a self-study course. But because it's my birthday, I'm going to add something to that. So I'm going to offer 2 live group sessions in connection with the course so that you can ask questions and you can sort of test out your ideas with me and see what suits you. And maybe I'll do a little bit of a reading to see if you're going in the right direction or not, or because sometimes we think we want something, we don't necessarily want it. And so sometimes we find that out by trying it, and then when it goes wham, it's like, why did I do that? So I might be able to help with that. So I just decided to offer an extra little thing that I don't normally do. So if you're curious about that, the course is actually called Goal, Design Your Future. And if you're curious and you don't find information, you can send me a little message and ask me about that, and I will give you the link. Otherwise, I'll post some information on my page in Facebook, and you can go there to find out.
So in the chat here, you're going to see the links for Miriam's website, her group, and her page. So that's all there. That's really generous too, and it's a very cost-effective course too. Some courses are really expensive, and that's not what you offer. You offer something that is something where people can benefit from it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just going to draw a couple of cards before we run out of time, and I'm going to do sort of fasting. So these are going to just be a few words. So hook into the words and so I'm going to, so I can get through a heap of people, right? So it's not going to be a big long thing. So all right. So this is for Jessica R. This is I don't know. I really love squirrels, and obviously the universe knows today because this card's not and I'm mixing these up and I'm clearing them, and it's still happening. So Jessica, this is about believing in yourself. So really, really do that. And I heard trust your heart. So this is for Cheryl too. Thank you. So what I'm being made aware of too is to really consider. So they said use your mind wisely. So this is about really sitting in that space and really considering as you're moving forward on things. Thanks. And if that's to do about a direction or fit or actual move like moving location, that's where they're placing it. Thanks. And don't think that pigs can't fly, because they actually can if you believe in it enough. So I'm aware of like, oh, that can't actually come into my reality, this thing that I'm thinking of. Yes, it can. Thanks. This is for Chris with a... Oh, sorry. Go for it.
I'm just going to show really quickly. I pulled the blank slate card for you. So that's like anything goes.
No, I was looking at that card and like, where's all the words on it? There is no word. So this is for Chris with a K. So Chris Buzz Gentle. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook name. So this is about needing to really be spontaneous, really think on your feet, really action really fast. So for you, it's actual opposite to anything that anyone else is coming up with. You know, when we've said they've got a delay, yours isn't. Don't hesitate. Get out of your way. Be really spontaneous. Thanks. If you're wondering who I'm saying thanks to, I say thanks to the air, because people without bodies and all the others don't have, you can't see them. So it looks like I'm talking to the air. So this is for Sandy. So this is, it says sometimes life stings, but I'm actually being made aware of that yes, if we've had challenges, things have kind of hurt, what we would, think, that was not awesome. That was, a bit icky. And particularly if it was last month, because they're showing me a 10. So if we've had something that was not awesome last month, they are saying that they're about surrendering it over. So I'm aware of that. Thanks. And this, when you move past January, anything that, because there's a whole new energy, a whole new vibe for you. So that's really nice. So know that any challenges that you've had are awesome. Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought while you're talking, I would just show the card that I pulled.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a hog. Go for it.
No, go ahead. I just thought it was very in line with, because sometimes it's really cool for people to see.
Yeah.
You're just picking a thing and it can seem really random, and it's like, okay, well, this card really, really agrees with you.
Yeah.
And
like, also, okay. Yeah, energetically, we can't be much further away. It's going from Australia to Norway, this energy. It's like, right, that fast.
Around the world.
So I just want to see for Raylene. So this is Raylene. Thank you. This is, they said time to heal, but I'm also aware too. So be conscious if you're seeing fives or double numbers or triple numbers, because I'm aware of them bringing messages to you in that numerical space. I'm also aware too, thank you, that this healing energy, they're actually taking me, so it could be emotional, but I'm also aware of feet. So it could be physical coming up there too. You now have, I'm going to say, the right space, the right time to do whatever you need to do in that healing energy space. And I'm aware that it might affect home and relationships. So there could be a couple of areas of life that are impacted where we need to just put a little bit of effort in that, process it, get it out of our system, even potentially write it, because they're showing me that. Anything that you wanted to add, Miriam?
I'm just going to show the card that I pulled for her. That's beautiful. Answered prayers. But I love the divine intervention. So it's, again, in line with what you're talking about. Yeah. So I just, if you're drawn to anyone, Miriam, we'll just do a couple of really fast things. If you see anyone that you really are drawn to, I'm going to do the same thing, so we can try and... It takes me longer. So you notice the different style, right? Bronwyn's really fast and very systematic, and I'm kind of like, okay, what's showing up here? So that's what's, it's that when we were talking about the different styles, this is such a good thing to notice as well.
Yeah.
We're not the same.
No,
we're really not. But the information can be very, very similar. It's just not the same style.
Yeah. Who wants to be the same?
I was drawn to Tanya Duff. I hope I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And I actually got the same card as I showed before, Dreams and Visions. I don't normally pull cards like this, and again, not sight unseen. So I'm just going to take a moment. And if you're going to read somebody while I'm doing this, I'm slower.
That's okay. I'm just going to acknowledge.
It has to do with perception. Clairvoyance and perception is what my attention is going to with you, Tanya. There's something in the way you interpret things sometimes. It would be based on your past experience. It's coloring your experience of being in the world at times where things can seem worse than they are. And so it's when you know that, it's like you can ask yourself a second question. Wait a minute, am I making assumptions here about this situation? Am I really seeing what's happening, or am I making assumptions? And the idea is not to believe your thoughts at all times, not to believe your interpretations or assumptions, but to actually use the invitation to go a little bit deeper and see if you can get more information.
Awesome.
Yeah, you might surprise yourself. Yeah.
Thanks. So thank you for giving us about confirmation that things resonate. So I am reading that and seeing who's doing that. So I do appreciate that. Because sometimes we wonder, like we trust what we get and that's why we give it. But it's still nice to know that it does make sense to you, because we do keep it fairly broad, because this is a public space and it's up forever, and who knows who's going to watch it. So we do keep it really broad to maintain your privacy. That's why sometimes I'm like, oh, it seems a bit broad. That's why we don't want to say all the things that we get made aware of here where everyone can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're really conscious of that. I've got a card here, and it's for Kelly Marie. So, and what I'm being made aware of is that I hear the word mend, and it's a card about mending, but I'm also aware of this releasing and forgiveness energy coming up. And it's also a forgiveness space of not only others, but self. So I'm aware of self in that space. So where we're letting go of anything that sits with us that we think that we should have done better, should have done differently, this type of thing, to move that out of your energy. That's really, really important as you go into a deep introspective space and maybe consider what that is, or consider how that needs to shift out of your energy, because I'm actually aware of like pushing it out of your aura. So you may even do an action that would look like that, or a visualization that would look like that, because I'm aware too that there's I heard make more peace, so I know that this is part of bringing that into your world. Thanks.
I'm getting this, so I'm just going to add this. If you're seeing me, you're seeing my mouth go, and this is like open up to the possibilities. We get sort of cramped and stuck and protective, so it's like you have the opportunity to open up more. Your world will be, and I'm getting the impression that your world can really be a lot more spacious. You can feel also a lot more space in your body just by giving yourself a chance. Give it a chance.
Awesome.
So close down quickly. No, even if you notice yourself closing down quickly, it's like, wait a minute, do I really have to do that? There might be something here that's actually rather cool. And then the joy comes in. So yeah. Thank you.
I like cool.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, cool. Yay.
Joy's good. Joy's good.
Woo. Yes, in case we forgot, it's Miriam's birthday today, and she's in Norway, and it's the morning. So we're going to do sort of, because we didn't get through everyone, because I wanted to actually communicate with Miriam, not just do reading, so you could feel her energy and see if she's the right person that you want to connect for a really profound reading or healing, or even those silent counseling sessions. The course that she's got that's really cost effective. I wanted you to feel her energy. She is a remarkable human, and she's here at this point in time, incarnated, because she has some pretty significant healing to do and shifts to create in other people's worlds, not only how that manifests in her own world, but others. And so anyone that is drawn to her, don't hesitate. The way that she works is unlike anything that you'll experience anywhere else. It's definitely, and experience in a good way, because you can experience stuff not in a good way. This is in a good way. So I wanted to just wrap this up with some I'm going to call it group reading. So we'll just 1, 2, 3 type of thing. And if you want, we can contribute to. We'll just do one, and then I'll say something. You can say something. We'll make it like a combined reading if you want, or you can tell me no. And go no, do it by yourself. That's my plan. You can join it or not. And so, in this process, when we go through this process, just in case you've never experienced before or you're new here, listen to the whole reading. Now, the whole reading may resonate. It may not. There might be just a phrase, a word, something within that just lands on your soul. Take that, let go of everything else that doesn't serve you, because we will say a whole lot of things, and throughout that whole lot of things, there will be something that is meant for you. So connect in as we are shuffling, and we're connecting into those that are drawn to number 1 and what they need to know now, like today, for the future, even something that's sitting within them that they need some kind of guidance on. So I'll just put some energy into these cards. For those that are drawn to number 1, for me, what is coming up is, thank you, the things, thank you. I'm hearing silver lining, and I'm being made aware of that there is a silver lining, and it is about looking at where that sits for each situation, everything that you're experiencing, to focus on what's good and what's what serves you, and really to not connect into those things that are a little bit of a lower frequency. So it is in that space of, I want to call it gratitude, but it actually feels like it's more than that. So it is really changing your mindset in the way that you look at things and approach things with a positive mindset, knowing that everything that you experience is something that you need, even if it is something that is challenging on a level you have asked for it, because it creates a growth opportunity for you. And this is going to move you forward in a way that you don't anticipate. And you even will be surprised when you get there and get to the other side, that what you have able to accomplish and go through, you never thought that you would have been able to. And so this is one of those moments where you're going to move through life and move through it with a lot more ease when you focus on the silver lining.
Do you want me to do my
You do what you do you. Yeah.
This is freaking me out. It's like, look what
Oh,
again.
wow.
This is for the general collective. Yeah, that is amazing. So, and very in line with what you're talking about. And what I did notice about this card is my attention went to where it says second sight. That's at the very bottom. It says second sight. And a lot of times we'll think of second sight as this psychic, and we're in this space, of course, but it's also second sight with regard to taking a second look at things. This theme has come up several times during this reading. It's like, we get our intuition and we get very clear messages about things, very many of us. We all have abilities, but then there's also the part of us that has these experiences, and we make these assumptions and these interpretations and these judgments. Guilty of those. And because we're all human and we all have reasons for that. So the idea here with the second sight is taking a second look and being sort of willing to open up to another possibility, because there's always another possibility. There's always another way of looking at something. It's like, might I have interpreted that incorrectly, or am I making an assumption about the situation or this person that might not actually be the case? And it can be really opening, can open a dialogue with other people, with yourself, and with just the situation that you're in. And it's about your dreams being concrete and your visions being more clear and taking you in the direction that you really, really want to go. Awesome. So yeah, that's that.
So that's for those that were drawn to card number 1. So for card number 2, so those that are drawn to card number 2, as I shuffle, really think about, what you need guidance on as we do that and we draw your cards. So what is coming up for me, for those that are drawn to card number 2, is the remembering that you're never alone. And not only, and I am aware of this, it's in that spiritual space that you are never alone, that sometimes you feel that you're alone. And when you look back in your past, you've done a lot of things by yourself. And so this is why you think that you're always alone, and that's how it's always going to be. But it is about, for you, empowering your spiritual team around you to make themselves more aware, so you know that you are supported beyond what you anticipated, beyond what you realize. You just need to surrender over anything that is challenging for you to them, so they can support you. This journey is one that is yours, that you walk with a team. That team has been waiting for you to actually look up and accept them into your world in a greater level and a greater space, so they can make life easier for you. Stop thinking that you have to do it all by yourself. You are too independent, and that independence is holding you back and stopping you from actualizing everything that is waiting for you.
Thank you. Should I bring mine?
Sure.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This has to do with solitude. So the idea of like the being alone and the going within is absolutely what this is about. Being alone can feel lonely, but it doesn't have to be, and it isn't necessarily lonely. It is an opportunity to go within, to make use of the solitude, to get present, get it more in touch with yourself. So even retreating, it's interesting that they're calling it retreat. It's like retreat from your own thoughts, retreat from the ways that you plague yourself, and just get silent, get quiet, take a step back, look within. And it's funny that you brought up team as well, because your team is also within. It's like without within, and you notice the contact with the team. I mean, how would I know if it weren't also in me? Yeah. So it's an opportunity to take a step back and really get to know who you are and how much more you are. And then bring that. That's what we're here for. Otherwise, you would be somebody else.
Yeah.
So bring what is your value. Enjoy the solitude and make use of it as a superpower, and not something to bring grief or less than, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Miriam. All right. So the last reading is for those that are drawn to the number 3. So as I once again connect into the cards and ask, you think about your thing, what you need guidance on, you connect in on your end, and I will do on my end. So there is an energy that comes through from what we've just said. So if you were listening to the number 2 people's readings, there's part of that pulls into this reading. So if you're like, oh, that made sense for me, that's why. The other thing that I'm being made aware of for those that are drawn to number 3 is that your rebirth, and this is that reinvention, this is this new space for you, is aligned and coming, and you've felt it bubbling up and being more, and now it's just going to burst out. Or it's almost like a butterfly, but not. Reminds me of almost like champagne. It's like, right, it's more energy than a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. So this is going to burst out of you. This is all about this really being who you are, and we talked about this earlier, but for you it is something far more than that, because it is that being reborn, but reborn and letting go of the past, because I'm aware that the past has been holding you back. The stories within your head are holding you back. Even what we would class as trauma has been holding you back, and this is a conscious choice that is required by you to move through that, to let it go. If you think that it's for you, that it's something that you need to work on greatly, I'm not saying not to, but they are actually making me aware that you don't necessarily have to. You can make a choice to just go, from now on I am showing up differently, from now on I am doing something differently, and I'm choosing differently, and I'm going to be different. This is what is here for you, and I know that it aligns because they keep showing me the beginning of the year, so I know that it's, even if it's not strong now, it's even going to be more so in that February space, and just keep going. They're clearing the path for you too, so anything that was in your way is moving out of your way, which is really going to make life easier, and you'll feel like it'll even be going faster. So enjoy the fact that things come into your world nice and quick, with a lot of ease, because you have earned it.
Wow, that's amazing. My 3rd card came up. It sounds like I don't want to say anything now. Let's just let that land, shall we? My 3rd card came up as 2. It came up like this.
That's funny. I had 2 too for those people. Yeah.
That's really, really interesting. So it's change, but it's also soul lessons. And I connected into where, as you were speaking, this idea of trauma, it's a big misunderstanding. It's the soul lessons. So one of the ways you can help yourself, bringing through all of these past things that you've been carrying and that seem to make you into the person you are. And yes, in a way, yes, it does. But it's what the lessons are that you're bringing, that you need to go through, that you need to learn, again, to be more of yourself in the world and to be with other people and bring whatever your magic is in connection with other people. The butterfly, and the picture of the butterfly and the change, it's like there's a huge transition going on, and it's really global, and it can feel like fire and water and mortar and brimstone and all of that, those biblical associations and all that sort of stuff. And there's no criticism or judgment here. It's just the pictures that I'm getting. We're going in a new direction, and it actually is more positive than we think. And that's also the misunderstanding with trauma. It's more positive than we think because there are some soul lessons in it. So just be aware of that. Go deeper. Go deeper. Don't fall for the surface stuff that's going on. Stay grounded, stay present, and go deeper. And you will see and realize and experience also much more quickly the things that other people, they're not there yet. They're not even ready to see it. They don't know how to get there. But you're pretty much there. So let that unfold and let it be your butterfly. Thanks,
Miriam. Now, just in case you don't know, it's Miriam's birthday. Just in case. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Miriam's in Norway, just in case you're wondering. Chocolate is obviously breakfast food in Norway. It's breakfast food in my house too, right? In Australia. So, I appreciate all of you for being here and hanging out with us, connecting into what we're talking about. When we do readings for you, but we also show you who we are by sharing how we feel about things, our beliefs on certain things. So thank you for connecting into who we are. The whole point of introducing Miriam to you is so you can feel her energy and know who she is and realize that she may be able to assist you in some way, whether it be the course, whether it be a healing, whether it be a reading. She's one of those, as I said, magical people that can shift energy on a level that is unlike other people. It's really quite special what she does, and she does it really differently to standard. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That I wanted to honor you in that space. Thank you, Miriam, for allowing me to introduce you and hang out with me and have some fun. I appreciate you. I adore you. I'm glad that you came into my world when I was in another world, is what it felt like.
Right back at you. I'm
very
so
grateful.
honored to be here. Thank you so very, very much. And I'm so glad we're continuing our journey together. Yay!
Thank you, everyone. Please, please, please gift Miriam a birthday present by liking her page so Facebook can support her. Please do that. And if you resonate with Miriam's energy, connect with her. Within the chat is all her details. You might have to move up and down to find it, or Chanel will put it in there again because Chanel's awesome that way. But connect in with Miriam, even if it's just, to see what she's doing. So support her. That would be absolutely awesome. Because remember, it's her birthday, and that's how we're giving her.
And thanks, Chanel, and everybody behind the scenes as well. It's lovely to meet all of you and watch the chat go flying by. Yeah. Thanks for all of the birthday wishes, everyone, and enjoy.
I agree. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We wish that we could acknowledge all of you individually, but it does move a little bit fast. Have an awesome weekend, whatever you are doing. Look after yourself. Be really kind to yourself. Mm-hmm. Be really, really kind to yourself and others, but I'm really getting called to tell you to be kind to yourself. So do that. Remember to smile and to smile at someone.